my heart goes out, obviously, to the people with their homes, and I'm watching the small businesses around us go up in flames. This is people's livelihoods, so it's devastating. But what is most concerning to me is our first responders and our firefighters who are trying to battle this. There's no water in the Palisades. There's no water coming out of the fire hydrants. This is an absolute mismanagement by the city. It's not the firefighters' fault, but it's by the city. And I'm going to be very honest. We've got a mayor that's out of the country, and we've got a city that's burning, and there's no resources to put out fires. So if you look at your pictures, you don't see the firefighters there because there's nothing they can do. And it looks like we're in a third world country here. Mm-hmm. And we've got a lot of tough questions that we need to ask the mayor and the city council and our representatives and the county representatives. Why didn't you work to mitigate this? What was your brush mitigation program? I heard you earlier talking about it's been dry because there hasn't been rain. That's not the biggest problem here. The brush up in these hills that are controlled by the city and the county, I would bet you that if they haven't been handled, mitigated, pruned, removed for probably 30 or 40 years. This was a disaster waiting to happen. And what's predictable is preventable. And who's paying the price are all of these people in their homes and their businesses tonight. Now, we'll rebuild. But the majority of this community is going to have a tough time rebuilding their lives.
You get it now? Do you understand now? America first. What the hell was she doing in Africa? Do you get it now? Is it sinking in? Elections have consequences. Your local elections have consequences. Your leadership that you continue to vote for day in and day out, every election cycle, like an insane person, has consequences. Regressives, liberals, and you wokesters, have you figured out why we always holler America first? But yet here is someone that you guys voted in continuously in California, keep voting her in to be the mayor of the cities that you guys watch burn. You watch your pockets go to waste, you watch your homes, your livelihood, and your lives go to waste, all because of failed policies. Gavin Newsom, and now we have Karen Bass all the way in Ghana, while her entire city's burned to the ground.
If you're upset at what's happening over in California with the fires and you just so happen to be on the left, here's something important to remember. For some odd reason, your Democrat mayor, LA Mayor Karen Bass, decided that we should cut the funding of the fire department by almost $20 million. Good job, Democrats. As always, the Los Angeles Fire Department had its budget cut by a staggering $17.6 million this financial year. But don't worry, guys, she's there for you guys. Not really. Actually, she's in Ghana right now for the Ghana's president's inauguration. Oh, and where did they allocate that $17 million towards? Yep, $22 million was allocated to fund supportive services, housing, and other resources for illegal immigrant families who recently arrived in the city. Shout out to you, Mayor Karen Bass. You know how you keep hearing this thing that we should probably prioritize America first before we spend money on, I don't know, things like 16 different fire departments in Ukraine, making sure that they have protective gear, motor pumps, chainsaws, all this various things. See, Ukrainian fire departments are thoroughly prepared for any emergency thanks to American funding.
We all seen the devastating fires that are going across the cities, burning down entire communities. People's livelihoods and homes. Burning down small businesses, burning down corporations, completely devastating entire communities that are gonna have to rebuild.
Hi. Just be okay. You're gonna be okay. Hi. You're gonna be okay. Oh shit. Don't worry about that, dude. Look at that. Holy shit. Scary, huh? Yeah. Look at the plastic is gone, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck. Look at
The water, right?
yeah. Holy shit. So, where's the gas?
Outside?
Okay, the gas is off right now.
Yeah.
Jobs lost, people displaced, lost, people that are going to need money to restart their lives over is gone. All because of what? Failed policies. Failed policies from Democratic mayors, people like Gavin Newsom, Democrats like Karen Bass, that cut fire department funding to 17.6. And she wanted to cut it to more than that. I'm going to read a little bit of this, and then we're going to go in. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass faced scorching criticism Wednesday as it was revealed she cut the city's fire department budget by $17.6 million ahead of this week's devastating fires and was traveling thousands of miles away in Ghana when the flames broke out. Now, what the hell is she doing in Ghana? Worrying about an inauguration in Ghana. And this is why DEI will always fail. Didn't earn it. And this is why DEI and these woke ideologies, ideologues are always going to be devastating to this country. And you guys deserve it because you keep voting for it. It's a cognitive dissonance. Your brain is at war with understanding that everything woke goes broke. So here we are now with lives completely destroyed. And must I remind you, let's don't forget during the Wuhan soy sauce bat flu, that was the germ fair that was released on our American population. Let's don't forget how they were trying to force people to go put that soy sauce in them. Forcing people to put the soy sauce in them to the point where if they didn't put it in them, they were losing their jobs. Now, how many fire department personnel lost their jobs because they didn't want to put the Wuhan soy sauce in them? Yeah, let's don't forget. And let's explore the question of what in the hell is she doing, her woke ass doing in Ghana, when she should be here in America taking care of her constituents. This is y'all's opportunity to vote these people out. This is your opportunity to get it right. We got it right with the election. 77 million people rejected these people, rejected wokeism, regressives, and liberals in the Democratic lies. But it's not done because you guys still make California go blue. It is time for people to wake up and realize that their policies don't work. But don't worry, here I am looking through the internet, and I still see liberals with a cognitive dissonance. Their brain is at war with the facts, where they're wrestling with the fact that the policies have failed them, and why would she pretty much defund the fire department?
So if you're anything like me, you have been watching all of the content regarding the fires in California. And suddenly everybody on the red side, they're all, fire experts. And you can't engage with them because they will never believe reality. But the reality is, unfortunately, that Los Angeles cut $17.6 million from the fire department's budget. True. Some social media posts suggest that at least some of the LAFD's funding was redirected to the Los Angeles Police Department nearly $2 billion budget. We can verify that the LAPD did get nearly $126 million increase in funding this fiscal year, according to a graphic shared on X. In that graphic, it showed that the fire department's funding decreased by $17.6 million. Maybe if we weren't defunding the fire department, things might be a little more under control. Possibly. Maybe. I think the police have enough stuff.
And then turn around and try to flip it and say, oh, well, she wanted to fund the police, but didn't acknowledge that crime went down.
This fire really brought home the need to take ownership, and I mean just really push on these local elections, because last year, LA City Council, right, this is an approved mayor's budget, cut $23 million from the LA Fire Department, right, amongst other things, animal services, right, those kinds of things. And why? Why did they do that? So they could give the LAPD a $138 million increase, right? And even though crime has decreased with fewer cops. So do you remember that line from the Titanic? Will lifeboats be seated according to class? Honestly, that lady deserved a karate chop in the neck right there. But that's where it is. That's where we're at. Right now, I can smell the smoke. I'm in a red flag area.
And you got Karen Bass all the way in Ghana, taking a flight back to the United States. But when she landed, boy, did she get torched by a reporter asking her, does she take any accountability and saying anything to her constituents? Does she have any sorrow, anything to say to her constituents that lost everything? Anything to the constituents of her policies that obviously failed? She goes silent like a coward. Play the clip.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up, please? Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home? Madam Mayor, let me ask you just again, have you anything to say to the citizens today as you return?
No.
Ma'am, hold on 1 second.
Madam Mayor, just a few words for the citizens today as you return to deal with the catastrophe.
Can you take this down?
Absolutely torched. And I'm glad the reporter held her feet to the fire. And that's what we must continue to keep doing. We have to hold these politicians' feet to the fire and hold them accountable. But as you guys know, when it comes to the DEI, when it comes to that community, oh yeah, talking about the black KKK collective groupthink. When it comes to accountability, they tend to get angry and upset and don't have nothing to say because they never take any responsibility for anything that they do. They tend to get mad and just like she did, go silence. But I like what the reporter said. I'm going to show you another clip.
David, as you say, she wasn't very keen to answer any of your questions there. And fire chiefs are also admitting that they just don't have enough personnel to take out the fires.
Yeah, they're fighting all sorts of challenges. They're talking about a water shortage. There are reports of fire hydrant failures. They've been unable to use firefighting aircraft for much of the day due to the smoke that is billowing ominously from the hills where the wildfires are raging. And I suppose despite that political storm, this is, of course, at its heart, a human story because we've now 80,000 people evacuated. Tens of thousands of others are on standby to be evacuated. 2 lives have been lost in the Eaton fire, which is what's causing the consequence behind us. The city's iconic landscape almost shrouded completely by the smoke. And they're really just taking it one step at a time, hoping at some stage the wind's going to change direction or to die down, and that they're going to be able to get this fire under control.
And her silence was shocking. Not one sympathetic word for her constituents. Just another DEI success story. God, people, you got to figure it out and wake up, man. You got to wake up, people, that these people's policies, their ideology is a cancer. You got to stop voting for them. Our country is flipped inside out upside down, and this is our time to course correct. We have to keep continuing to hold these politicians' feet to the fire. It does not surprise me that she is tongue-tied and has nothing to say to the people. Not a single sympathetic word whatsoever. Hold their feet to the fire. I want to know what your thoughts are on this DEI mayor, Karen Bass, all the way in Africa. What in the, this is that, before I end the video, let me touch up on this Africa thing. Why does she feel that it is necessary to go all the way to Ghana for another president inauguration when she should be focusing on what is going on here in America? And this is what we mean when we say America first. But you liberals and you leftists come on here, oh man, you guys are being racist saying that, oh, America first. No, this is what we mean when we say America first. We are American citizens. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic. I don't care what color you can come up, what ethnicity you can come up, what language you speak. This is what it means when you are born and a native here in America. You are an American citizen of one of the greatest countries on earth. Why are we continuing to put politicians, people in leadership that pass policies that put us last? Why do we continue to do that? So when we say America first, that is what we mean. That means putting our brothers and sisters first, making sure we're good first, making sure we have opportunities first, making sure our well-being is first, giving us opportunities first. That is what America first means, meaning protecting our country, protecting the borders, not trading off jobs to someone clear across the country, somewhere else in the world, when we have so many people right here in America that need jobs, making healthcare affordable, giving us housing, things that are for Americans. That is what it's for. But we have Marxism, people that want to create separatism and division in this country and want to rip the Constitution apart and rip everything that our constitutional republic stands for and what it's about and what so many of us of all shades have died and fought for so that we can have the lives that we have now. But yet we continue to keep putting these poor leadership, undeserving people in positions of power that pass policies that put us last. I don't know why, and I'm never going to understand it. Why in the hell was she in Africa? I want to know what your thoughts are. If it's your first time on my channel, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Hit like, leave a comment. I do read them. And for everybody else that's been supporting me and elevating my voice, y'all know I love y'all to death. Thank y'all. And as always, it's your boy, Craig Long 45. You can't make this shit up. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, oi.